Even before the glow of victory wears off, the Republican opposition says it won't compromise in a second term of President Barack Obama.
And my message today is not one of confrontation, but one of conviction.
In 2 months, an automatic budget cut of more than $1 trillion hits the federal budget, unless the White House and Congress can come to an agreement. These cuts are split evenly between defense and domestic spending programs.
Al Green.
Both parties want to cut the federal deficit, but the fight starts at where to tax and where to cut.
People making all this money have to contribute a little bit more. And all the exit polling, all the polling we've done, the vast majority of the American people support that.
Without a solution, the country may plunge into a financial nightmare.
I don't know whether that's going to drive the Republicans to be more willing to cut a deal than they were before. It certainly does mean that they have to worry about running afoul of public opinion at their peril, having just suffered a loss.
The president's victory puts him in a stronger position internationally, but he has to solve the domestic financial issue before turning overseas.
I think everything, frankly, that the president will be able to do in his second term, he will have strength or weakness on his foreign policy agenda, depending on what plays out in the coming weeks, particularly on the fiscal cliff.
Solving this crisis gives the president the moral high ground to show the Eurozone, Greece, Spain, and other countries that Washington can put its fiscal house in order. However, the president's first task in foreign policy may be to find a new Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton says she won't serve in an Obama second term.
With a deal at home, personal popularity, that won't, Secretary Clinton was popular, but the president will sustain that support himself. How does he mobilize those two things to actually have not a defensive foreign policy agenda, but one where he's trying to advance an agenda and get something accomplished?
Depending on the outcome, a deal on pulling back from the fiscal cliff may force the president to define the path forward for the rest of his presidency and for his international policy. Tom Ritchie, Associated Press.